Gopijanavalabha Girivaradhari Gopijanavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Jamunatira vanachari Jamunatira vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Jamunatira vanachari Jamunatira vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamunatira vanachari Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jai Gauda Nitai, Gauda Nitai, Gauda Nitai, Jaya Gauda Nitai. Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Together. Narayanam namaskritya narang chaiva narottamam deving saraswating vyasam tato jayam udirayet nasta praeshu abhadreshu nityang bhagavata sevaya bhagavat uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 68, The Marriage of Samba. Text 38 to 41. Bhūñjate kurubhir dattaṁ bhū-khaṇḍaṁ vṛṣṇayaḥ kila upānahaḥ kila vayaṁ svayam tu kuruvhas śiraḥ. Need some new reading glasses. We Vṛṣṇis enjoy only whatever small parcel of land the Kurus allow us, and we are indeed shoes, whereas the Kauravas are the head. 39. Aho aiśvarya-mattānāṁ mattānām eva māninām asambaddhā giṛo rukṣāḥ sahetānuśāsītā. Just see how these puffed up Kurus are intoxicated with their so-called power like ordinary drunken men. What actual ruler with the power to command would tolerate their foolish, nasty words? Adya nishauravang prishtvim karishyamityamarshatah grihitva halang utastav dahaneva jagatrayam. Today I shall rid the earth of the Kauravas, declared the furious Balaram. Thus he took his plow weapon and rose up as if to set the three worlds ablaze. Sounds scary. Langalagrena nagaram udvidarya gajavayam vichakarsha sa gangayam pravarishyanamarsitaha Langala grena nagaram udvidarya gajahavyam vichakarsha sa gangayam praharishyanamarsitaha Langala grena nagaram udvidarya gajavayam vichakarshe sa gangayam praharishyanamarsitaha Gangayam Harishyanamarshita Gangalagrena nagaram Yadaryam Vichakarsha Gangayam Mataji's Langalagrena nagaram udvidarya gajavayam Arshasa gangayam Langala of his plow, agrena with the tip, nagaram the city, udvidarya tearing up, gajavayam Hastinapur, vichakarsha drag, saha he, gangayam in the Ganges, praharishyan about to cast it, amarshitaha enraged. Translation, purport by the followers of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord angrily dug up Hastinapur with the tip of his plow and began to drag it, intending to cast the entire city into the Ganges. Repeat. The Lord angrily dug up Hastinapur with the tip of his plow and began to drag it, intending to cast the entire city into the Ganges. Well, the city would have gotten purified in the Ganges. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes as follows: Lord Balaram seemed so furious that he looked as if he could burn the whole cosmic creation to ashes. He stood up steadily and, taking his plow in his hand, began striking the earth with it. In this way, the whole city of Hastinapur was separated from the earth. Lord Balaram then began to drag the city toward the flowing water of the river Ganges. Because of this, there was a great tremor throughout Hastinapur, as if there had been an earthquake, and it seemed that the whole city would be dismantled. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti states that by the Lord's desire, his plow had increased in size, and that as Balaram began dragging Hastinapur toward the water, he ordered the Ganges, except for Samba, you should attack and kill everyone in the city with your water. Thus he would fulfill his promise to rid the earth of the Kauravas while making sure that nothing bad would happen to Samba. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jaina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistang Stapitang Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Didati Swapadantikam. Shri Balarama Ki. So these amazing pastimes of the Lord, transcendental, historical facts told as stories. People like to hear exciting stories and novels and battles. What to speak of a beautiful princess, Lakshmana. Many people were very interested to have her as their wife, but she was so powerful and exalted that she was going to perform the svayam, that she can choose who will be the king. And Samba, it said that she was not so inclined, but he performed the kshatriya way of kidnapping. And although the Kauravas were angry, at the same time they appreciated his courage and his power and strength. They thought, oh, yeah, he's suitable husband, but they felt insulted. They felt like, who is this little boy who can insult us and our family? So we heard the past several days how many of the Maharathas, great warriors, they received permission from the elder of the Kuru dynasty, who was Bhishma. Bhishma said yes, it was not proper that Samba stole Lakshmana like that. He should be chastised, but don't kill him. So the battle went on, the great warriors chasing Samba. Imagine, they said 6 great, powerful warriors, and they're saying, stop, stand and fight. And a kshatriya, he can't take the insult of being belittled in any way, so naturally Samba, he stood and he fought them very, very powerfully. And everyone, he practically was fighting all 6 of the generals because he had the prowess, inconceivable power of his father, Krishna. Imagine being Samba, the beloved of Krishna's family, very powerful, and exhibited that power, but still the 6 warriors overpowered, captured him, and Narada Muni immediately, he went to tell the Yadavas all the details that happened. So Ugrasena, emperor, was very upset. So he said, okay, prepare for war. And they're all putting their armor on, they're ready for this battle. Seems like in Krishna book a lot of battles take place, but this is the nature of this world. We've seen it even in the history. If you look back 2,000 or 3,000 years, 4,000 years, historians and anthropologists don't have any real history beyond 5,000 years. And they think 40,000 years ago there were no human beings because they haven't evolved to that point yet. This is their speculation and Darwin's speculations, and it could be like this, it could be like that. Instead of taking knowledge from the Guru Parampara, the great acharyas, the Puranas, the history, the Veda. Veda means knowledge. And this knowledge is giving description of human existence and civilization thousands, millions, billions of years ago. Good Lord Brahma, he lives a long time. And we heard, anyway, yesterday in another class, Bhagavatam Prabhu was explaining to some school, college kids that everyone in this world, they go from one life to another, to another, to another, in one day of Brahma, and it's a long time. You know, if you can read the calculations, 43,000 times 1,000, okay, it's a really long time. And then there's a partial devastation, but the end of Brahma's life is a total devastation. That means all the living entities are in the water of devastation, like in a sleep. You know, when you go to sleep, you just completely, when you wake up, you think, oh, I just went to sleep. But many, many millions and billions of years are going by. But besides that, it's an opportunity. Krishna is giving everyone in this material world the opportunity to fulfill all their desires, and he provides the instrument in the form of 8,400,000 species of life when they're just water devastation, the aquatics, then the plant life, then the worm life, then the animal life, and then the human life, up to demigods. There are many, many bodies, and everyone's living according to their karma and their desires. Krishna is very kind. He allows everyone to try to experience being the enjoyer, being the center of attention. We're all imitating Krishna, that we want to be happy by being number one, being centered. And human life is very, very rare. A wonderful opportunity to awaken our Krishna consciousness, because we have the advanced mind, intelligence, and ability with good fortune to question, who am I and what is the purpose and goal of my life? So the Pandavas were very much upset, and Balaram tried to pacify the Pandavas. Because Balaram, he had a little bit of a soft spot for Duryodhana and the Kurus. And we may think, well, how is it, that they were so cruel to the Pandavas? And many things we may not understand about the behavior of Krishna and Balaram in their transcendental activities. Sometimes those perplexing questions that they don't seem to make logical sense, or they seem contradictory. But this is the absolute nature of Krishna. He's beyond our ability to imagine how he's doing these things. How are these things happening? And in myself, I'm thinking, Prishni and Sutapa, they took 3 births, and Krishna took as Prishni Garbha, and also as Vamanadev, and also as Krishna. But then, as Krishna's mother and father, they were harassed so much by Kamsa in the prison house, all those years harassed, and all the demigods who took birth to assist Krishna in his Leela. When all the demigods, Brahma, Shiva, approached Kshirodakshai Vishnu, they heard the word that all the demigods should take birth in Braj and be ready for the Lord's appearance. And the Lord appears. And we think, oh, these are all just stories. but such fabulous stories, unimaginable stories of the greatness of Krishna and how he's performing these transcendental activities. So Lord Balaram, he came and he sent Uddhava, the camp just outside the city, and he sent Uddhava to greet the Duryodhana, Bhishma, and Dhritarashtra, and all the Kuru warriors. And when they heard that Balaram was there, they all came running with worshipable paraphernalia. They wanted to worship Balaram because he's our friend, he's our supporter. So they performed all their rituals, their worship of Balaram, and Balaram straightforwardly told them that Ugrasen, the emperor of all kings, because Ugrasen was the emperor, he said, we know that you unjustly arrested Samba, and that I don't want to cause a fight. I don't want to cause any disturbance in the family, the Pandavas, the Kurus, why we should fight unnecessarily. Just return Samba and his wife to us immediately. Oh, the Kurus didn't like that. They're being told by the emperor, Ugrasena. They thought, who are these Pandavas? Because of us, we've given them some land. We let them use the royal emblems, the whisk, the conch shell, all the different paraphernalia, as if they're also royalty, but actually it's because of our kindness to them. Now the little shoe wants to come to the head where the crown is held. So they were mocking the Pandavas, in one sense, mocking Lord Balaram. And Balaram was very tolerant for a little while. And as the Pandavas, or as the Kurus, got everything off their chest and their ego, like, these rascal Pandavas, no longer shall we give them any privileges. And they just walked off. So Balaram became enraged, naturally. And when we think, how is it God's getting mad? Yes, Krishna gets angry. Balaram was angry at the rascal Pandavas for insulting, or the rascal Kauravas for insulting the Pandavas. And we just heard how he was in a sarcastic tone saying, the Vṛṣṇis, they can't sit on the throne. When Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can't sit on the throne. And Ugrasen has the power, he had millions of assistants, say even trillion. Can you imagine that? 1 trillion assistants? I got one I have a hard time with. But imagine having trillions of assistants. It's difficult to imagine God's glories. So Lord Balaram, he manifested this lila, and his plow grew very huge, and he grabbed the whole city and made it like a raft, was pulling it. He says even now you can see certain parts the way they are because and there was the tremor, they're like an earthquake. In 1993 or 94, I was doing book distribution in Los Angeles. And it was the Mongol Arctic time. We just blew the conch shell, and there was a heavy earthquake. All the pillars are breaking, and all the devotees jumped up to grab the deities. I was on Gornitai's altar. And you could see the fear and the anxiety. So the deities were safe, but a lot of the temple in New Dwarka, all the pillars broke. They kept the deities in a Radha Damodar bus for a whole month because of or for quite some time because of the after effects of the other follow-up earthquakes come sometimes. So all the residents of Hastinapur, they were all in great anxiety, so immediately they came running, very apologetic. I'm sorry, we didn't know your supreme power. It's described they wanted to see Balaram exhibit his godly powers, and they saw it, and they immediately came. They had Samba and Lakshmana in front. Like when Lord Nrsimhadev appeared, he was so angry, and he killed Hiranyakashipu, and he killed all the demonic soldiers and followers, and he was so angry that the demigods would not approach him. Even Lakshmi, she would not approach him. And so they put Prahlad forward. You go pacify Lord Nrsimhadev because you're his devotee. And Prahlad was not afraid. When you see a lion on the Nature Channel. If you watch the lion, they're very ferocious, and people are very scared of the lion, king of the jungle. And when they attack with claws and teeth, they're very powerful. But when they're playing with their little kittens or little tiny little lions, they even look so cute. The little baby lions, they look very cute, isn't it? All babies look so cute. They better look cute because they cause so much trouble that the parents would throw them in the Ganges. No, there's nothing like a mother's love. And Samba, he was very attached to mom, but he was a naughty boy, they say. But he was very attached to his mother. And the mother's love is incomparable in this world. So Krishna was exhibiting that and power. Lord Balaram was exhibiting the power. But when the Kauravas came apologetically and very, genuinely feeling, please forgive us, we didn't know. Immediately his anger dissipated. Thought, don't worry. He alleviated their anxieties. That, okay, you're okay. And the matter was actually solved very wonderfully. And was it Duryodhana? He gave, 12,000 chariots and 120,000 horses and so much dowry. Imagine the wealth, the gold, the jewelry, even the Vaishyas in Braj, when Krishna took birth from Vasudeva and Devaki, and Vasudeva offered beautiful prayers, Devaki offered beautiful prayers, but she was still fearful of Kamsa, said, please don't, become a little baby, because she was afraid that Kamsa would immediately come and try to kill him. So Krishna told Nanda Maharaj, or Vasudeva, you bring me to Gokul, to Nanda Maharaj. So Balaram came along as Sheshanaga because it was raining, heavy rain, and Jamuna was over flooding. But then Jamuna parted. We hear how, in the Noah, or that the river parts. The Lord has tremendous power, and Jamuna gave respect, and Vasudeva gave to Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, who gave birth, but due to the troublesome labor of giving birth, didn't know it was a boy or a girl. Everyone was sleeping by the mystic yoga of Yoga Maya, Krishna's potency, all the guards in the prison house and also in Gokul. But Nanda Maharaj performed a grand ceremony, like the Janmastami, the birth of Krishna. And they were giving thousands of cows with golden rings on their horns and silver shoes, and all the garments were laced with gold. And this is all from milk, butter, ghee. They were actually very, very wealthy in that, and they would trade their commodities. Because if somebody has gold, silver, and all these things, but they have no ghee, butter, and because you can make so many varieties of food, just showing how the citizens should be protected by the Kshatriya kings. They're protecting the citizens, but at the same time, they were asking if the cows are being protected, and the cows and the bulls, because they're also very, very valuable. Go Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmane Chaya, Jagaritaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Krishna's first concern is the welfare of the cows, the brahmanas, his devotees. So this past time, Balaram, he came through, went back to, where were the Pandavas at that time? Huh? What city were they in? They were also in Hastinapur? Indraprastha? No, Arjuna was there, but Krishna and all the rest. Anyway, they brought Samba and Lakshmana back, and everyone was very happy and satisfied. But this is the nature of the material world. people become very proud. They want to be the controllers. They want to be. We can see even in today's society, everyone's demarcating their land. This is my land, and trying to figure how they can control more and more. Bhagavad Gita explains, aiśvarya-mattānāṁ, aham bhogi, siddhoham balavan sukhi, that I am perfect, powerful, happy, and my enemies, I'll kill my enemies. Even in royalty, when there were emperors, sometimes their own children would kill their cousins, kill their father to take over the kingdom. There's a lot of history about that. Aurangzeb was imprisoned in Agra, in the prison, and all the other brothers and nephews were killed, so that for the power, because everyone's looking, Krishna, he is the most powerful, the wealthiest, the most intelligent, with wisdom, and he's a renunciation, and most famous. So we know people who are very, very strong, very powerful, like Superman and Samson or Mr. Olympus. They have those magazines, everyone's competing who could be the strongest, the best fighter in the cage fighting, number one cage fighter. And then someone might be very, very beautiful. Many beauty pageants are there. Someone who's very wealthy, they think, oh, Ford, Rockefeller, Birla. So these are popular people. And someone who's famous, oh, some movie star's coming, everyone goes mad. I remember back in the 90s when we were here in 93, Hema Malini was coming in the guest house, and people went wild because she was a movie star at the same time, famous. So Krishna and Balaram, they have all these. They're the most powerful, they're the wealthiest, they're the most famous, very renowned, and full of unlimited potency. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. Just by their desire, everything can be fulfilled. People think that by mystic yoga you can become God. Prabhupada said, when Krishna, just as a baby, when Putana, the big witch, came, she was killing little children and she was planning and scheming how to kill Krishna. She put the very heavy poison, and because she became she transformed herself into a very, very beautiful, with beautiful clothing and looking gorgeous. So even though Rohini and Yashoda saw, they think, oh, she must be, like a nurse or demigoddess. And Krishna closed his eyes. The acharyas, they said many reasons, because he realized that she's a woman or that she would be fearful. At any rate, Krishna, he sucked her breast and sucked her life and, leave me, child, leave me. And then she became, her actual form she was miles long. She was a huge, huge demoness. So Prabhupada explains that Krishna is not the kind of God that you make in the mystic factory, that you go through meditation, austerities, and some kind of mantras to become God. He's God always, from beginning to end, the Supreme Lord. He's fully empowered. And then again, in this Leela is described that many of the Kurus understood that Balaram is the Supreme Lord. Even it's described in Vrindavan at times that gopis and the gopas, they understood Krishna as God, but then they would forget. They'd be covered by Yoga Maya in order to perform this Leela. So Krishna, Balaram, they appeared 5,000 years ago. They appeared many times. There's so many incarnations. But just to bring it down to our understanding, 5,000 years ago, Krishna appeared under the request of Mother Bhumi, Mother Earth, that she was overburdened by the military forces and the demonic influence. So Krishna, paritranaya sadhunang vinashaya chaduskritam, came to destroy the atheists and the demonic persons and to protect and save his devotees. but it was all for his pleasure. Krishna was exhibiting life in Braj with the love that he had for the Gopas, the Gopis, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, tending the cows, playing, enjoying the beautiful atmosphere of Braj, which is a reflection of Goloka Vrindavan. There's another world, a spiritual world. There's no need for electricity, sunlight, moonlight. Everything's illuminated because everything is spiritual, transcendental. Just like we have bones, nerves, veins, skin, and fluids and many things. Krishna's body is transcendental, spiritual. Although we may not have the eyes, premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena, we don't have in a material embodiment, we don't have the eyes to see Krishna in reality, but Krishna can manifest himself. And we may think, well, Krishna performed his pastimes 5,000 years ago. It's recorded in the pages of the Vedas by Vyasadeva, Puranas, Itihasas, and everyone was knowing that Kali Yuga is coming. People are not so sharp. Previously, they would hear from their guru, the self-realized soul, and they would retain and understand the message of that human life is meant for awakening my God consciousness. This is a temporary vehicle. This is an embodiment. And I have senses, I have a mind, I have intelligence, I have a big false ego. And we're being slaves we're driven by fulfilling the desires of the senses. The mind is, thinking how to do, what to do. Why should I sit in Bhagavatam class? I could go do something else more important. But devotees are smart because they think that, okay, it might be a little bit austere, get up in the morning for Mangal Arati. But as we awaken our appreciation that I don't belong in this world, I belong in the spiritual world, that transcendental Goloka Vrindavan. Imagine there, the trees are kalpa vriksha trees, they fulfill all your desires. All the cows are surabhi cows. They're wish-fulfilling trees, and the cows. Krishna is served by millions and millions of goddesses of fortune, Lakshmis. And what to speak of his beauty, that even Cupid is completely mesmerized by the beauty of Krishna, how beautiful Krishna is. And then who bewilders Krishna? Srimati Radharani, isn't it? That he's bewildering everyone in the world, but Srimati Radharani, which is his Shakti, his Hladini Shakti, his potency. So just imagine Krishna's maintaining the whole spiritual world. He creates them in a little corner of the spiritual world where all the Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence is coming from the Goloka Vrindavan, from Vaikuntha Dham, that bright effulgence of Krishna, Brahma Jyoti. Great mystics and yogis are striving for that, to appreciate the pleasure or happiness of the brilliant rays of Krishna. And also beyond just like the sun has so much sunshine, there's all kinds of sun particles, molecular particles of sunshine which emanate from the sun. So from the Brahma Jyoti, all the living entities are emanating within the Brahma Jyoti. And when we are transported from the spiritual world, we're planted in this material world so that we can actually, okay, now you're at Disney World, you're at the theme park. Go try out all the rides. When you're finished and you're finished trying to be happy in that temporary existence, he creates the material world. What to speak of the higher planetary systems, Marutyaloka, the places of middle planetary systems, Patala Loka. Every universe has Brahma, different Brahmas, different sizes, and there's unlimited living entities, but they're all nitya bhada, they're conditioned, we're conditioned. And our conditioning is that we're given a material form, but only in the human form can we ask, who is God? How do I get free from my suffering? And what are the sufferings? Birth, old age, disease, and death. This is the nature of this world. You know, you may grow, you may take birth. If you last, you produce some byproducts. Then you dwindle and vanish. I was in Mayapur, and my mother, she's 93, called me and said, "Oh, your father-in-law passed away. He's 94 years old last week." So good thing my wife is taking care of my mother. But you can see, she said, "Don't get old." I said, how can you avoid getting old? You know, we're all thinking, "Oh, I'm 70 years old and my 90-year-old mother's still, you know, give me the sauce." So this is our conditioning in this material world. And nobody wants to be old, going up and down the stairs, everything hurts, or, you know, I couldn't even see clearly the text, unfortunately. I got to get a new set of glasses. So this is what we don't want to be here. We want to live eternally. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to suffer. If you know that you're going to be in a suffering condition, if we knew that where you're at, there will be an attack or something will happen, with the speak of that earthquake, somebody jumped out of the window and broke their leg, you know, because of fear. Everyone's in fear of this material world. Because why? Because it's not our true nature. We're Satchidananda. Krishna is eternal, full of bliss, full of knowledge, and he has a loving relationship with each and every one. It's not that we think that Krishna, he's so great, he has his gopis, he has Srimati Radharani, he has all the transcendental personalities in the spiritual world. Why would he be paying any attention to little me? Because we're part of Krishna. And the mother knows that every one of the children, there's love. So Krishna, yayata mang prapajate tangstatava bhajamiham. As we surrender to Krishna, Krishna reciprocates. Not that he's a mercantile, though, you know, if you're good to me, I'll be good to you. He loves everyone equally. The sunshine is available for everyone. But if you choose to stay in the darkness, keep yourself locked up in the closet, you think, "Oh, God's not fair. The sun is not fair." No, the sun is there. It's brilliant. It's available for everyone. It comes to sunshine. And but we have to. Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. For what purpose? To spread the Sankirtan movement. And what is the Sankirtan movement? Glorifying Krishna, hearing about Krishna, chanting his glories. Because there's no other purpose to life. Then we think, "Oh, there are so many things to do." No. Because if by hearing about Krishna in association of devotees and by following the process, what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Jeev jago, Gauda Chandra bole." All right, you know, Harinama, 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 eva kevalam, kalu anasteva, nasteva, nasteva, gatiranyata. Chant the holy name of the Lord. Spread the message of Krishna consciousness. Jari dako tare koho Krishna upadesha, maragai guru hoy tare desh. So Bhagavad Gita, personally spoken by Krishna. These are Krishna's words, giving guide. We think, "Oh, Bhagavad Gita is just preliminary. Let me read about the rasas, you know, because there's more of taste." But if you read or hear Bhagavad Gita in the company of devotees, Sarvasya chahang hridisana vishto matat smritir jnanam apohanam cha vidaishcha sarvair aham veva vejo vedanta krit vedavid evacham. Krishna's created or spoke the Vedas to Lord Brahma, to Narada, to Vyas. In the Vedic literature are meant for awakening our love for God, which is lying dormant within us. Everyone has this love for Krishna, whether demon or devotee. That external body may be acting demoniacally in reflection to our desires, but at the end, when the body is gone, we're all Jivera Swarupoi Krishna Nityadas. The bug, the fly, the demigod, the humans, the animals, the plants, every living being is a servant of Krishna. But we've forgotten Krishna. We're looking for happiness in a temporary, miserable place. Was that verse? Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartano arjuna. Mamupechitu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. From the highest planet, where life is long duration of life, and maybe great opulence, and so much beauty, and so much opportunity for happiness and enjoyment, ultimately, from the highest planet down to the lowest, all are places of misery. Why? Because the repetition of birth and death, the chakra, samsara, the wheel of birth and death, is crushing everyone. And the battles that took place during the Lila of Krishna, Balaram, Pandavas and Kurus, they're showing about arrogance, about bodily concept, false ego, and how one should actually surrender to Balaram, surrender to Krishna, glorify the Lord, and utilize his time in such a way that not a moment is wasted. Srila Prabhupada was not wasting time. He didn't like to waste any time. It doesn't matter, he was traveling around the world 14 times, corresponding with thousands of devotees, giving lectures from morning to evening. He'd rise at midnight and throughout the night be translating after studying all the acharyas' purports and bringing from all the acharyas, putting it all together and making it suitable for our understanding in Kali Yuga. This age, we're not very spiritually inclined, we're slow in spiritual advancement and very much eager to fight, isn't it? This is the Pandavas and the Kurus were ready for a big battle, but Balaram wanted to settle things down. But then when the war of Kurukshetra came about, he went on pilgrimage. He said, okay, I'm not getting involved in this one. But we can't think that we can understand what Krishna's thinking, what Balaram's thinking, or why they did this and why didn't they do that. Krishna's absolute. All we know, he's the most beautiful, most powerful. He's Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Sarva Karna Karnam. And he's the cause of all causes. We may think that by my hard work, by my study, by my tapasya, by my religious sentiments, that I'll awaken God consciousness. No. We have to do it by bhakti, by devotional service, and Krishna will reveal himself to us. He'll give us the intelligence by which we can come to him. To those who are devoted and worship Krishna with love, he gives them intelligence, how they can come back to him. And that how is Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, under the order of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, came from the spiritual realm to deliver the message of Bhagavad Gita, the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to start the Sankirtan mission, to start the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're known as the Hare Krishna people because we're always chanting. One interviewer was asking Prabhupada, why the devotees are always chanting? Is this part of the process? Yeah, this is the process. Just by calling out the name of Krishna, Krishna is present. So by associating with Krishna, we're getting purified. And by hearing from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, all the beautiful, wonderful pastimes and leelas of the Lord, we become totally satisfied and go back home, back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada ki. So we have a few minutes if anyone has any questions, comments, or challenges. It's okay. Yeah, go ahead. I don't have my plow here.
Thank you very much. Especially how one way or other we can, like Lord Balaram punish to the Kurus,
Lord Balaram punished the Kurus.
Yeah, it's mercy too, but sometimes we get the mercy in that way, but really we don't really appreciate it.
So we also get sometimes mercy that way being punished, but we don't appreciate it.
So therefore, it's absolute, but still, the easy way.
It's absolute, but how do we deal with that? But if you read, or you hear how the Pandavas struggled so much, what to speak of Vasudeva and Devaki, and all the different demigods were being harassed by Kamsa, and they had to run away, practically live in the mountain caves. And so, we're getting a little harassment. Tattenu kampam susamikshama. So if we get a little bit of, oh, I stubbed my toe, why Krishna let me stub my toe? Or, somebody spoke to me harshly, why he speak to me harshly, So we should see that all these challenges and all these difficulties make one to, not make one, but it forces one to take shelter of Krishna. They were forced to take shelter of Balaram because they're going to be destroyed. They're all going to be drowned in the Ganges. So we should see that when challenges come, it's an opportunity to take more shelter of Krishna. It increases the fire which burns away the impurities. So not that Queen Kunti was asking for more troubles. We're not going to be on that level. We're not going to ask for more troubles. But when troubles do come, we should see it as an opportunity to take more shelter of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, Ishvara, then you. Behind you is one, and then you. First him, then you. First, then you. 1, 2.
So, King Ugrasena, he had 4 billion bodyguards. King Ugrasena, he had 4 billion bodyguards.
A lot of bodyguards, yes.
Why do you keep them?
It's a lila to show his magnanimity, show that this is the emperor of the whole world, and so it's part of Krishna's lila. He's showing his great power. I mean, like I said, we can't speculate why he did that, and he also had 300 so many millions or trillions of servants. So why does one need so many servants? Krishna's unlimited, and also his devotees have unlimited powers as well.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for your inspiring class. Prabhu, the verse talked about fighting, and you also explained history is full of fights. And Prabhupada also mentions that when Lord Chaitanya came, he preached message of humility, but there were instances like he wanted to kill Jagai and Madai because they attacked devotees, Nityanand Prabhu, and he also wanted to, he also wanted to burn down when Chandkazi broke Gangas. Now I just have a current situation question, like in Bangladesh, some devotees are being put in jail, temples are attacked. So as a movement, how do we respond? And also as an individual devotee, how do we respond?
Yes. Well, as a society, the GBC put out that we all should dedicate our Sunday today for the auspiciousness of protecting ISKCON and all the minority religious groups. Just like during Kamsa's time, all his so-called advisors said that let's kill everybody and everywhere. So like they stopped all religious functions, and all the saintly persons had to scatter for their lives. So these are the dangers of living in the material world. Naturally, no devotee is happy to see what the repression. They even tried to ban ISKCON, but the Supreme Court in Bangladesh refused that proposal. So people say, well, what are the devotees doing about it? We're chanting very enthusiastically. We're praying to Krishna. My dear Lord, please give protection to the devotees. And we have no control other than that. Of course, governments will, discuss in a high political level and how we can make a solution. But in the material world, it's going to be one battle after another, just like in Bhagavatam. There's one battle after another battle. There's struggle, even for the devotees, for the associates of the Lord. What to speak of the ordinary karmis who are simply living a sinful life, and they die and are sent to hellish conditions, much, much worse than what we're even experiencing. It's a martyaloka, place of death. So we pray that all the devotees, your attentive japa, your kirtan, your reading, and your performance of your devotional service, whatever pleasure we give to the Lord, that He takes compassion upon the devotees in Bangladesh and allows them to worship Krishna by chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any final thing? Someone else had something? Yes, Prabhu. You're a guest. I gotta give
I, when I hear this story, it's just like the intrigue that goes on in the palace and in these different dynasties. But then I think of another layer where Krishna, where it says that Krishna and Balaram, that they would appear and so masked they would act just like ordinary human beings. And Krishna explained also that he would come here, to acknowledge the experience, but to appease the devotees who would let his earthly pastimes be seen. So it can seem like we get so caught up in what's happening, but this is the purification. This is Krishna. We're finding out what's happening with Krishna, what goes on in the spiritual world. What happens with Krishna and Balaram. And it's intense because it appears that as we undergo the process, you were saying, of hearing and chanting, that we become purified, and the relish of these pastimes begins to make a whole lot of sense to us, rather than the mundane gossip and intrigue that we normally go. So that's what I'm hearing in my head. You can explain to me.
So hearing about Krishna and Balaram and their wonderful activities and their chivalrousness, and it increases our desire to hear about them, right? It's just amazing, the pastimes and stories. I didn't catch everything. Was there a question, or you just gave a comment?
It's a comment, but it's only for the operation. That's what I think when we're listening to these things, and now we're all speaking about it, and we're practically involved in Krishna Balaram's pastimes.
Yes.
And this is a mundane situation, so it's making sense. The verses that we hear, the stories that we hear from the Bhagavatam, it makes sense.
This is advancement. Devotees are making advancement who are attracted to hearing the Lord's pastimes. But if we're not taking pleasure in together hearing and glorifying the Lord, and then we become interested in mundane activities, then it's a great loss. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Ki jai.